Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's the last session before dinner. You're all dying for a drink. So I'm very surprised to see so many people here. But I think that's a tribute to the power of Sanjeev Kapoor. But thank you for coming. I want to tell you a little, I won't insult Sanjeev Kapoor by introducing him, but I will tell you where I first saw him. It was what, I think 2000 and something. You were executive chef of the Centaur in Juhu. There was a chef's conference. He was unknown, it was pre-TV. There was a panel, and the panel had Satish Arora, who was at that stage, and still one of the most influential chefs in India, on the panel. And they called Sanjeev up, and nobody knew who he was. And he turned to the audience and he said, I'm going on stage with a legend. I am nervous. The least you can do is clap a little bit for me. Do you remember that? I feel like that at the
that
moment.
was 1991.
Yeah, I feel like that because I'm on stage with a legend. I then got to know Sanjeev when we toured Japan, I think in 2010, together as part of a delegation. We were there for a week. And it was organized by the Ajinomoto company makers of MSG. And they took us to all these great Japanese food demonstrations at great restaurants. And no matter which restaurant we went to, what the guys were demonstrating, I would turn to Sanjeev and he would understand exactly what was going on. For instance, I'll give you one example. They were making tempura and they took the batter and they put it on ice. And I turned to him and I said, Ye kya ho raha hai? Why are they doing that? He said, because the ice will make a difference, the crispness. It affects the gluten. So I said, before I could even say it, he said, you're going to ask me why we don't do it with pakoras. So I said, yes. He said, because we make them with besan. We don't have any gluten in besan. So it struck me then that this is a man, he's a celebrity, he's famous, but he understands so much about food that no matter what the cuisine is, he's always on top of it. You remember that trip?
I remember that very well. Beautiful trip. I also remember early morning we went to Tuna.
Skiji market.
Yeah,
yes.
Skiji market. It was the old market back then.
Yeah.
And we went and we saw the whole auction. And post that, we said, okay, now it's breakfast time. It was 5:30 in the morning. It got over and it was breakfast time. And there was some sashimi, nice sashimi, which you can eat there. And suddenly I see Veer going. He says, I am too much of a Gujarati to have sashimi at this time of the morning. I still remember that.
Raw fish at 5:30 is a bit much for me. I said, let's start, Sanjeev, at the beginning. Your father was, as like you are, in his own way, self-made, right? Tell me the story.
First of all, I think, Veer, all these people are there because of you.
अरे छोड़
नहीं, वो इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ, वो इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि मेरे वजह से होटल वालों को किसी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. आपकी वजह से जो होटल वाले जो हैं बहुत मतलब आपको पूजते हैं. That's and you have made them look good. Yeah, so I think that is why they are here. But thank you for all the people and people who are waiting in the wings. उनको शायद screen पे दिख जाएगा, सुनाई नहीं देगा. But yes, my dad was a banker. He during partition, he literally came in as an orphan. Both his parents were killed during that time. It makes me even emotional today. But he was, there was nothing he ever said that we don't have this. We had everything. There was, we never felt that कि हमारे पास ये नहीं है. One thing he always said कि और कुछ नहीं करो, खाना अच्छा होना चाहिए. And he would love to cook. My mom is vegetarian. He would love to cook non-vegetarian, and that's how I had seen a man in the kitchen. And actually, then as most Punjabis actually do that, there's a man in the kitchen. So it was not a taboo that. So in some sense, whatever he did, he was a big inspiration in my life. Since he was a banker, I could understand numbers very well. I could understand that he had done it in a hard way. And it had paid off. So we just did that. We were just, we knew that this is the formula. If you did it right, it works. So there was never a doubt that if you did right thing, right way, hard way, it will work. And actually speaking, it has always been like that. It's actually a, what should I say, bed of roses, piece of cake.
Nah, it's not. How did he feel about you going to catering college? You went to Pusa, right?
Yes. So actually, right from my childhood, I had done few things which other kids my age were not doing. There were few choices I would make, which were not, in some sense, normal at that time.
Give me an example.
Okay, example. So for example, I realized this was in 10th standard. And there was a choice between language. And what was the language choice? Hindi and Sanskrit. And I chose Sanskrit because everyone has taken Hindi. And reason? Because you could score very well in Sanskrit.
So you were smart even then. Yeah, it's a good calculation.
Yes, it was very good.
Most kids would not make it.
Yeah. So, but I was pushed by the school. No, you cannot. You're the only one. I said, but school has a teacher. There's a Sanskrit teacher. You have to teach me. And they called the parents. Parents said, if he wants to do, he should be given that chance. Thanks to that call, I was national merit list too.
Wow. Okay.
So it was something that worked. So there were a few other things. They knew that if I was saying something, so the only thing he asked me was, Acha, you know what you are doing? I said, I don't know, but it'll be okay, don't worry. He said, okay. Then both my parents, they said, don't worry what people say, just do what you want and that's it. When you have that kind of support, and all my friends, everybody used to laugh. Itna acha, pada likha. So actually, they were at that time, to do hotel management was not a very smart thing.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was
actually,
hard
it was
work.
a smart thing.
Well, how?
Okay. It was smart for people who were smart. Because the bulk that was coming, so I can tell you there are people from that pedigree are there. Puneet is there, Mandeep is there from same college, who could shine because not everyone was like them.
What you're trying to say nicely is that people who didn't do very well used to go to hotel school.
That is
so
true.
Smart people did better, right?
That is true.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
and you see
that
the
is
smart
true.
people here, yeah.
Unfortunately, that is true. And why did it attract, especially in Delhi, a lot of smart students? And there was influence of Asian Games at that time.
Yeah.
We could see 9 hotels, large hotels coming up, and discussion of hotels coming up, hotel management coming up. And that's when I think it, otherwise it probably would not have caught our attention. I can say about myself, did I know who a chef was? I had no clue.
Really?
No. We never went to hotels. We lived in a place jahan par Punjab Sweet House would make jalebi, chola bhatura, dosa with besan ki chutney, not coconut. There was no coconut then. And that was he a chef? No, he was the owner of that halwai shop.
Yeah.
So I had no clue about chef. Kuch nahi pata tha. And that's actually, sometimes it's worrying that how come anybody who's made into something, they have pictures from their childhood. Unko bachpan se pata tha kya banna hai. Unke paas photo bhi hoti thi.
You had no such thing.
We didn't have camera. Photo kahan? Camera. Actually, it's happened today. So Hindustan Times, they're doing something, some story on when you were 25. Say, can you send us photograph when you were 25? I realized 25 saal mein bhi camera nahi tha mere paas mein. So I'm asking some friends. So my daughter says, kahan garib ghar mein paida hue the aap?
So when you finished Pusa, what was your career trajectory?
So Pusa, we did, passed out in 1984. We'll complete 40 years this year. And back then, we had few choices. So it was Oberoi's, Taj, ITDC.
Yeah.
These were top.
That's it. Those only those 3
yeah.
really.
And I opted for Oberoi's and ITDC. These were two interviews that I appeared for, was selected in both. Went to Oberoi's for one day.
One day?
Yes.
Okay.
So we went to Oberoi Maidens. There were two of us in kitchen, Austin Pinto and I. We went there. And they said, you can be placed anywhere, you can go this. And they told us something which we had never seen, which was flight kitchen. And I said, but no, we have done hotel management. They said, no, but you can be posted. It's not that they were posting. I didn't go back. I didn't go back there. Fortunately, I had a choice with...
Which is very ironic, considering you then became chef for many airlines and your pictures shown in cabins, but never mind.
that is so true. Yeah. 17 years with Singapore Airlines
that's
menus.
Right.
Yeah, that's... Actually, no, Air India's first award for food ever in history of Air India was when I was with Centaur and we did a festival. We got Mercury Gold Award for Air India, their first ever.
In the Chef Air Centaur days?
Yes.
My God, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so any case, so you go to the Oberoi's, you leave after a day, then you go to ITDC?
Go to ITDC.
And you worked there how long?
Oh, very long.
How long?
I was there for almost 6 years.
Okay.
I was there for...
So why did you go to New Zealand? Because I mean, look...
Okay, so that was from ITDC. ITDC planned to open a restaurant there. And I was selected. There was a selection process. And I was selected. We went there. Then we realized there was no internet. There was nothing. That we were literally on our own. So we were just sent there. And I learned a lot, lot of things there, how to manage, how to do everything. Came back after 2 years and came back to ITDC. And soon after, so ITDC Ashok Hotel, where I was, had an iconic restaurant, Frontier.
Yep, I remember it.
And I was there, and there was a gentleman who walks in, and somebody tells me, Mr. Bhandari bula rahe hain chef ko.
Okay.
So I go out, because the chef of that restaurant was legendary, Khadak Singh. He was on a leave for a month, and I was posted there. And he said, आप क्या कर रहे हो? Khadak Singh कहाँ है? I said, sir, वो तो नहीं है ये. He says, खाने में स्वाद जो है अलग है लेकिन अच्छा है. मैंने कहा बच गए. मैंने कहा मैंने कुछ change नहीं किया, but I done a little bit whatever I had learned in New Zealand, how to keep meats moist and things like that. I just done basic things. Little did I know that बड़ी जल्दी से उन्होंने 1 महीने के अंदर he got me to Centaur, Juhu, because he also became MD of HCI at that time.
Yeah.
And he asked me that Bombay chaloge. So my wife to be at that time, my Alyona and I were going around, and her father had retired, and he had shifted to Bombay, and so had Alyona. And their house was in Juhu. I said, sir, Centaur ठीक है, लेकिन अगर Juhu Centaur होगा तो. He says, why? I said, because वो Alyona का घर है. So that's how.
And you became executive chef at the Juhu Centaur at a very young age, no?
Yeah, so I was, I was little over 27. So actually, that was, so there were 6 people, and they say, we can't make you executive chef. You don't even have a single gray hair. And my response was, what has that got to do with price of fish?
Right.
And they said, no, we can't give you. We'll have somebody over you who will do the managerial things, and you manage the food quality. I said, this cannot be done. I said, you don't give me executive chef. You give me a position below, but nobody above me. And if I don't perform within a year, then... Sure. So there was a deal that within a year, I'll be made executive chef. But that happened in 3 months. They made me
I remember that, because you were Aurora became executive chef at an absurdly young age.
That's right.
And then you. You were the only two really young executive chefs in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
And television happens while you're at the Juice Center.
That's correct.
How does that happen?
Oh, there's a film being made on that, so.
Yeah, that's why I think
Yeah.
we'll get a preview from the actual horse's mouth.
No, actually there was, I get, somebody comes and says, oh, there's a new TV channel that is to be launched. And we are looking for a chef for one episode. And why don't you come and appear for that and do one? I said, okay, fine. Okay, just one thing. While I was at Centaur, I used to pass by a college which said Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies. My dad always felt for my intellect, I had not studied enough. Just to please him, I joined MBA course in marketing, Masters in Marketing.
While you were at the center?
Well, yes, there's a part-time 3 years course, which I joined, entrance exam, everything. I was the oldest at 28, I joined that.
Youngest chef, oldest student.
Yes, oldest student in that class. And so why I'm giving you this background is, so I asked them, I said, okay, what show, this, that. And being on TV was a really big thing because this was going to be...
TV had just started, right?
Yeah. Was going to start. It had not started.
Okay.
It had not started. It was going to start, but there was buzz. There's something called ZTV. It's going to start. And then they said, I said, kya naam kya show ka? Says Shriman Bawarchi. I said, I'm not doing it.
Well, fair enough.
And that was the time I was fighting and we were talking कि भैया हम महाराज या बोल रहे हो हम chef हैं कौन है? It was difficult to tell people. And here I was studying marketing and positioning, Elries, Zig Ziglar. We are reading all that. और ये बोल रहा है Shriman Bawarchi. I said, I'm not going to do it. So he said, you are the only one who's saying. बाकी तो ये chef, all the chefs of Bombay, उन्होंने हाँ बोल दिया, इन्होंने हाँ बोल दिया. अच्छा ये जब मुझे सुनाई देता है सबने हाँ बोल दिया मैंने कहा अब तो मैं ना बोलूँगा सब लोग इधर जा रहे हैं मैं तो इधर जाऊँगा. So actually the person whose idea was this, he's a big filmmaker now. Scam Muslimani, Hansal Mehta was the guy. So Hansal said, actually you really think the name is not right? I said no. So मैंने कहा 2-3 दिन दो मैं नाम सोच के बताता हूँ. They came and I gave, one of the choices I gave was Khana Khazana. Uska ek Australian partner hota, Philip. As soon as I said Khana Khazana, he said, hold on, what do you say, Khana Khazana? He said, I don't know what the hell it means, but phonetically it sounds very good. So then we told him what the meaning was and फिर किया हमने उसको. एक episode करना था मुझे. एक episode when I was to do, Hansal said, I've met all the chefs, but nobody is understanding the way you understand, the way you ask questions, who is it for, what is it? I want you to start this episode.
I have to ask you this because the story I have heard is that because the idea of putting a chef on television seems slightly unusual, they also wanted to put a film actress with you doing the show?
I normally don't talk about it, but now that you have asked,
now tell the truth. This is hardly known, but you should tell the truth. Okay.
So first episode we filmed in Kitchens of Centaur, and the host was a film actress, which I will not name, and I was the chef. So
the fact that nobody is willing to name this poor lady means she was really bad, right, on TV? All right, that answers the question. Okay, go on.
Okay, no, it's a choice you make, right? Okay. So, no, she was very popular, let me also say that. Then we filmed full day, and Hansal says, uske reaction bilkul theek nahi hai. So I want you to host it, and we'll get different chefs with you.
Yeah.
We'll get different chefs with you. So we filmed 3 episodes like this. I am the host, and 3 chefs, other chefs who came with me, and 3 episodes submitted, all 3 rejected.
Rejected?
All 3 rejected. And suddenly, I'm back in my kitchen working. Yeah. Good morning, sir. Mr. Sanghvi, how is your food? Right? So back to that. And forgot about it because then TV channel said that we told you cooking show host has to be a female. So they got a female on board and got other chefs to do it till. Now this nobody remembers also, right? So till one day I get a call. I just come into the hotel. My phone rings and it's Hansal on the call. He says, Sanjeev, yaar, can you come and shoot? I said, what do you mean? And no planning, nothing. And he says, I had to shoot with this person and they have not turned up. मेरा तो पूरा सब set लगा हुआ है, सब कुछ है. If there's anyone who can do it, it's you. I said, yeah, but you know my episodes were rejected. So why do you want? He says, अरे वो छोड़ ना, अभी तो पैसे तो मेरे डूबे हुए हैं, तू आ जा. So I go there, I see what is there. I cook 2 dishes there. He somehow pushed that episode in. And actually, as they say, rest is history. 19 years non-stop, I did that show, week after week, after that episode.
Watched all around the world. But at one stage, I read your audience was 500 million people because Indians all over the world would watch it again and again. Yeah, no chef on television anywhere in the world has had that kind of audience. Huh?
Yeah, I think the only, I would say, if I had done this show, also at that time, the technology-wise or whatever was also done in English, story would have been very different. The only language it was not dubbed was English.
Oh, no way.
It was done in French, it was done in Mexican, Malayalam, Tamil, everything it was done, but yeah.
So, my point is that at that stage, people did not believe that Indian chefs could make dishes on television and get a viewership. Certainly, nobody thought a chef could anchor a program, and yet you were doing both.
Yeah, because I had, actually, when I was working also, I used to teach. Yeah. And actually, I used to teach women. And it was a different story why was I teaching women.
Story we can tell here or one we can't
okay,
tell?
Okay, I'm also, okay, this was my first job in Banaras in ITDC. Yeah. And we are young, I was what, 20? Yeah, that's the age we were, 21, I think 21. Mr. Kachru is there, he knows, he sent us to Banaras where he was a GM of that hotel much before. So, summer there was nobody in that hotel, there was no business in that hotel, and we were just either in the pool, not do anything, and made friends with 2 young SP of the hotel, city and DM, and with their young wives, very young wives, made friends. Right. Okay, so they didn't know how to cook. So Sanjeev Kapoor was there to teach. And suddenly we became powerful. Because now I knew SP more. So I was, at that time, those 3 years, I was actually known as Kashi Naresh of that. Because I had fantastic contacts. I actually told Kashi Naresh, who's the Naresh now. We did this. Then we said, yeah, ये तो बड़ी मजेदार चीज़ है. ये तो और हमें करना चाहिए. So we went to the GM and we said, sir, हम cooking classes करेंगे, सिखाएंगे. गर्मियों में आता नहीं ना business, हम business करेंगे. We actually did that, and first he said, okay, your name, application we did, and we said age. So GM asked, he says कि age किस लिए पूछ रहे हो? अच्छा हमें तो पता था हमने किसको select करना है, किसको नहीं करना है. So actually from a joke, wherever I worked, in New Zealand, Saturdays, Sundays, lunch we were closed, but I used to teach.
Okay. So, and you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. I came to Centaur, I used to teach, I used to do cooking classes. So I actually knew that what people want to know. And I also understood, because I was doing marketing, that show is not about what I know. It is what they want to know.
Yeah.
It's not. So most chefs, for many years, they were showing off that this is my recipe, this is there. And I never showed anything which was very difficult, what people could not replicate at home. I would only show things that they would succeed with. I never showed them anything which there was a chance of their failure. So I made sure they succeeded. In their success lied my success.
But let's go from that era, which was like primitive television, to now, where if you Google an Indian recipe on YouTube, the first name that comes up is Sanjeev Kapoor's recipe. In many cases, you've redefined those dishes because everybody, everywhere in the world at home, cooks your recipe, not whatever recipe somebody else may have done. That's a huge responsibility. How do you feel about that?
I agree, it's a huge responsibility, but I think somebody has to do it. And if you have option and opportunity of that mass reach, then you have to deliver it. You have to do it. See, recent controversy about butter chicken and dal makhani, right? So somebody called me, media called me, that, what do you think? I said, these are national treasures. I said, dish that I created, first episode, Sham Savera, I don't say that it's mine. I said, as many people can copy it and use it. Because these are not things that we say that, ye hamari nahi hai, ye hamari. This is what we leave behind. It's not something, hum kuch nahi leke ja sakte. It's not, let's not become Americans and say, ye hamara patent hai, ye hamara ye hai. Let's not make commerce out of everything.
But that's a new trend, no? Earlier in Indian food, I have never heard of anyone saying, I invented this or I invented that. Our cuisine was just passed on and improved by every generation.
Exactly. So the other thing was, see, when I became a chef, why I started to teach also, apart from that was, see, when we were learning, it was not easy to learn.
Yeah.
There was keeping secrets. So first thing I said, whatever I would learn, I would teach as fast as I can, right? And now I see most chefs, they share their recipes, they share their secrets, they are happy to teach anyone and everyone, which wasn't the case when
not at all in those old days. Yeah. Talking about food then and talking about food now in the area of YouTube, etc., you think Indian food has improved, stayed the same, got worse?
Oh no, definitely it's become more relevant.
Relevant how?
Relevant in the sense it could be a no butter chicken. It could be a butter chicken with olive oil.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, so everything progresses, everything changes. And that is what is happening now. There is better understanding, there is better research, there is better. So when you came to Goa maybe 30 years ago, people were not looking at ras omelette for breakfast. People didn't know what it was. People were not looking at traditional dishes the way they are looking now. And it's not just Goa. You can go into Konganadu and the same thing would happen. So places like YouTube, Instagram, all of that, they are helping to create that demand. And when there is any demand, there is some bastardization may happen, but eventually it gets refined. When there is more demand, it gets refined. For some time, there is some mess, but when they converge, it converges into excellence.
You now, apart from the fact that you have these very successful YouTube videos, a television channel, you have a repository of how many recipes?
I don't count. It's like breaths you can't count.
Yeah, like more than anybody else.
Yeah, maybe 15, 20,000, yeah.
You're recognized wherever you go. People are making a biopic about you. The fact that chefs, I mean, in the era when you started out, chefs used to report to F&B managers who were often younger than them. Now chefs often don't even report to general managers. The whole equation has changed so much. And you've had a lot to do with it. So how do you feel about chefs and their position now?
I think I'm glad that this change has come in. Actually, there are chefs now who come and touch my feet that because of you, we are getting this kind of... see, I've seen everything. I've seen from when I started TV for next 10, 15 years, people around me, chefs around me, saying, "Ye chef thodi hai, isko thodi khana banana aata hai. Ye to TV pe chef hai." To international forum, he's not a chef. To people coming, so I think whatever is happening, chefs still have a long way to go. The recognition, what they deserve, is much more.
Really?
We need to develop those chefs. But what we are not able to do, we are not able to still have, so let's look at chef-owned restaurants.
Yeah.
We still, people ask me, Michelin coming to India, it's not an easy thing. And good that you have your, what do you call them, ratings, you don't know.
Ultimate restaurant ratings.
Yeah, ultimate restaurants, you know. So I think that recognition, it's good for chefs, but long
overdue.
wait.
Yeah.
Yes, I think for the cuisine that we have, in some sense, for chefs of today are trustees of that tradition. And these trustees have to be trusted, honored, respected. And that's when that will be passed on to next generation. And that, so that they can build on that tradition, not only dig that hole, take it out and hand over. No, no, no. They have to build on that tradition. And so whatever we do, we are doing it, we have to treat them as national treasures.
Which they are, no?
Which they are.
Which you certainly are, Sanjeev. Last question, because they're going to ring bells any moment, is that you are a chef, India's most significant and influential chef, but a chef who's transcended chefness. I'll give you an example. When companies want to do commercials, they want an endorsement, they want a figure who people trust. Even products that have nothing to do with food, they come to you. Many marketing surveys have shown that if people see you on television, they trust what you're saying. And apparently you're welcome to deny this. The story is they come to you with a couple of crores and you throw them out, and then they have to keep coming back with more and more offers, which are bigger and bigger before you even agree to look at them. All this is true, basically, you know?
That is true. I can't deny it. I can't deny it. That is, so in last 30 years, I have probably endorsed 25 brands. If I was to do 25 in a year, I would do no, but yes, that is true. That is true.
Now, when you started out, it was unthinkable for a chef to get that position. And of course, you're a great chef, and of course, you've done a lot for Indian food. But you've also changed the image of chefs, because there are people now, at least, as you yourself are a good example, who people trust and people want, and people are willing to pay huge sums of money just to get their endorsement. Now, it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Gordon Ramsay is a great name in the UK, but nobody trusts him, no? How have you achieved that?
I think that's thanks to the value system, what I saw at home. So actually, this is many years ago, when Reader's Digest was still relevant as a publication. So they came out with a list of
most trusted Indians.
Most trusted Indians.
And you were 30 or something.
Yeah, number 32.
Something like that, remember that?
It was something which, I don't know what their parameters of doing that. I think it's all to do with value system, like my favorite dialogue is, Sach bolo sukhi raho. Bura lagega na koi baat nahi, lekin bol do, kya hai? Whatever it is. So, trust. So, when Tata's, I've been endorsing Tata's products for many years now, and I do work very closely with them. When they came to me, I said, yeah, Tata's matlab means trust, right? But there was a study that was backed, said, no, in food, your trust is higher, you score much higher.
Yeah.
But then, uske baad mein 1 saal baad Ariel aa gaya. Main kahi to food mein nahi tha. So now, I've been doing Ariel for 8 to 9 years. Yeah. We just renewed for next 2 years. I just started with the Indian oil. So I think it's all to do with how people see. So I'll give you an example of something which I can't take credit. I don't even know. So this was 2 days ago. I'm in Dubai. There was an event. I'm there. And since hotel that I'm staying is right next to a mall. So आधा घंटा मैं क्या थोड़ा सा ऐसे घूम के आता हूँ. So I walk into a shop and this sales girl, not Indian, not Pakistani, non-South Asian, who does not know who I am. And she looks at, I wanted some mugs, whatever. Then I come to coffee, this thing. Now there's one girl who comes and runs and says, oh my God. So anyway, so now pictures and all. Now this other girl comes running and says, so obviously you are very famous.
A celebrity, yes.
Yeah, but I must tell you, when you came there and you spoke to me, and she called one other girl, and she says, tell him what I said. He says, this man's aura is very good. मैंने कहा ये aura का कहाँ से मुझे confuse?
It's true, no?
Yeah, but that's something which is it's not something that you do. It's
No,
who you are.
it's either there or it's not. It's not
It's
something
not
you
there,
can,
right,
not
yeah,
something you can work at.
Yeah, so it's something which there must be a science which we don't understand, but if you keep on doing right things always,
Yeah.
it works. That's my philosophy. I don't. There are few things I would never do, no matter what it is. I have. I say yes to many crores, but many crores I say no to.
Yes. That's the story, that
Yeah.
you throw them out if you say this product is not
Not
right.
throw them,
Yeah. The story is, and you say, I don't know, I don't want to do this product, I don't care how much money you're offering. It's true, no?
It is true.
It's true. So Sanjeev Kapoor, for a guy who started out working at ITDC, went off to New Zealand, did you ever imagine when you came back to India that one day you would be Sanjeev Kapoor?
Oh, one day I would be interviewed like this by Veer Sanghvi. No,
come
never.
on.
But what an honor. Thank you, Veer.
No, thank you. It's my honor. Ladies and gentlemen, Sanjeev Kapoor. Thank you. It's fun.
Thank you.
I think we're now off for dinner, right? Or is somebody going to come and tell us that? Or yes, we go straight off. All right. The bar awaits, the food awaits. Off we go. Thanks.
Thank you, Veer. Thank you. And thank you for being here. All these are kind friends who always stays. And we will also return this favor for people who we can. Some we were not there. Sorry about that.